From the gritty streets to the silent alleys, today we're diving into the dark and dangerous world of crime, delving into some disturbing gang encounters caught on camera. Brace yourself as we reveal raw and real footage that'll leave you speechless. November 30th, 2018, Brian and Lauren Swenson, this American couple living in Nairobi, encountered a group of masked men while driving near Mai Mahiu, Kenya. The men appeared to be up to no good and began chasing them. Brian acted quickly, reversing the car before accelerating to escape them. The men, waving their machetes, desperately tried to catch the fast-moving car on the rough road. Lauren could be heard nervously asking if they were still being followed.
Still there?
Yeah.
The person in the backseat confirms that they are hot on their trail, determined to rob or even kidnap them. Thankfully, before long, a police vehicle caught up with the gang.
The cops? Well, not even cops to be there.
The Swensons said they were lucky to get out of that scary situation without a scratch, thanks to quick thinking and the grace of God.
Let's get out of here.
This person also managed to escape a scary attack thanks to quick thinking and a bit of luck. July 19th, 2021, two men jump out of a car and try to rob some shoppers on Melrose Avenue in California, but things didn't go as planned for them. The victim immediately pulls out a gun to protect himself and his crew, and once shots were fired, the gang took off running. The cops had caught up with the suspect shortly after and discovered that they had been shot but weren't in critical condition. October 20th, 2021, James Kilser, a Marine, found himself at a Chevron gas station in Yuma, Arizona, when three gang members with hoods and covered faces approached him, and one would try to rob him with a gun. But these guys had no idea who they were dealing with. Kilser didn't hesitate when that gun was pointed at him. Security footage captured the moment he swiftly grabs it. Thanks to Kilser's quick thinking, the suspects fled in a hurry. While two did manage to escape, Kilser disarmed one and held him until police arrived. When asked about how he managed to take control of the situation, Kilser simply said, "The Marine Corps taught me not to mess around." July 2022, a crazy gun battle sets off in a quiet neighborhood near Jonesboro, Georgia, after a group of armed men accidentally picked the wrong house to rob. You see, they didn't know Whitfield Smith, an Army vet, was chilling inside and ready to defend his wife and property at all costs. Smith peeked out his window and saw one of them trying to break into his car with a gun in hand. That's when he grabbed his rifle and stepped outside to settle some business. This man didn't have time to be scared, only time to take action.
Main protagonist was right here using my truck as a shield.
August 29th, 2023, three armed men attempted to rob a man as he was entering his vehicle in a parking lot of a Sunoco in Montgomery County, Maryland. Unbeknownst to them, the man was also armed. In a split second, a shootout began, but again the would-be robbers quickly fled when they realized they had chosen the wrong person to target. May 24th, 2023, surveillance video from a store on the 600 block of Shawmut Avenue in Roxbury, Boston, captured intense moments before, during, and after a gang shootout. Thankfully, police reported no injuries, but for the people walking by, it was a scary turn of events. Pedestrians quickly dropped to the ground to avoid gunfire, seeking shelter behind cars and inside nearby shops. It's crazy how a peaceful evening can change in an instant. October 22nd, 2021, two masked gunmen walk into a barber shop in the Bronx, New York City. They went straight for the unsuspecting man sitting in the chair by the door and shot him in the stomach from a close distance. It was obvious these guys had a specific target because they didn't even look at anyone else in the shop. A worker and another customer had hid, while one of the shooters passed the gun to his partner, who shot the already wounded victim in the leg. Luckily, the victim survived his wounds. As for the gunmen, they ran off on foot after the attack but were quickly apprehended by police. They ended up getting convicted for attempted murder. May 31st, 2021, a shocking shootout was captured on video in Brooklyn. The footage would show a group of men hanging outside a bodega when suddenly three of them pulled out guns and started shooting. Thankfully, the four men who were shot only sustained non-life-threatening injuries. The police were able to get some of the individuals involved, but it was discovered that this was all just a rival gang shootout. June 19th, 2020. Imagine you're enjoying a peaceful day at your home with your family. Suddenly, you hear deafening gunshots as several people start fighting right in front of your house. Your home camera captures the event, turning it into crucial evidence for the police. The video shows a chaotic scene in Northeast DC, where multiple individuals were seen firing shots at each other. The intense exchange lasted for less than 2 minutes, leaving neighbors feeling shaken. According to a police report, this also stemmed from a dispute between gang members, resulting in the arrest of 6 individuals. January 28, 2021, another terrifying gunfight erupted in the St. Roch neighborhood of New Orleans. And again, it was all captured on a doorbell camera. This took place in broad daylight, dangerously close to people's homes. In the video, 3 men can be seen strolling down the 1600 block of Marigny Street. Suddenly, they see a gray SUV approaching Claiborne Avenue. Within moments, shots ring out in the direction of the SUV, and all hell breaks loose. December 2019, CCTV captures a dramatic escape of 4 armed men in a small truck after a cash-in-transit heist in Danville, Pretoria. As the guard was opening the rear door of the cash-in-transit vehicle, the armed men brandished their firearms. The quick-thinking driver immediately drives off, leaving the guard at the mercy of the robbers. They forced him to the ground and made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Thankfully, no injuries or fatalities were reported, but unfortunately, no arrests were made either. And from Pretoria, we'll go down to Cape Town now, where yet another mugging was captured on camera. June 4th, 2019. This video shows 2 armed men robbing a guy who appeared to be on his way to work. The entire incident takes place in under 50 seconds before the criminals make their getaway. It's pretty clear that in South Africa, gangs are skilled at what they do. April 6th, 2019. A terrifying event unfolded at a gas station in Kenilworth, a suburb of Cape Town. A man linked to a local gang in Cape Town was gunned down by 3 assailants who appeared out of thin air, unleashing a hail of bullets at his vehicle, ultimately resulting in his death. Fortunately, law enforcement was able to capture the 4 shooters, all of whom belonged to a rival gang. May 9th, 2022. A shocking ambush was captured on camera in the middle of the day at a gas station in Philly. The footage would show a red car pulling up nearby, with 2 gunmen dressed in black jumping out of the back seat. They quickly approached the victim, firing off rounds like they were in an action movie. The poor victim tried to make a run for it, but one of the guys armed with what looked like an AK-47 caught up to him and tragically ended his life before taking off. The police later confirmed that this was a targeted attack, describing it as a brazen act of viciousness. Unfortunately, no one has been arrested in connection with the crime. We're at yet another gas station in Denver, Colorado, where a heated shootout's about to go down between rival gangs. September 22nd, 2015. This gang just wanted to wash their SUV, but things took a turn for the worse when their rivals rolled up. Then suddenly a violent gunfight breaks out dangerously close to innocent children, who thankfully weren't hurt, but the gunfight still resulted in injuries to multiple men on both sides. In the end, law enforcement had captured and prosecuted a number of criminals in federal court. Looks like gangs really enjoy causing chaos at gas stations, because on May 30th, 2022, a crazy shootout went down in Henderson, North Carolina. It starts with a man getting out of his car, gun in his jacket, walking towards the Gate City Foods, a mini-mart at the gas station. Within seconds, shots were flying in his direction. The man starts shooting back, and then someone else in the car joined in. The whole thing goes down right in front of an apartment complex and other businesses, really freaking out the locals and passerby. The police wasted no time in figuring out who the 4 men were. One of them surrendered, while the others were arrested within days of the shooting. September 12th, 2018, another chaotic Wild West shootout unfolds at a gas station in East St. Louis, Illinois. Surveillance picked up an intense moment where individuals from 2 separate vehicles engaged in gunfire. Now, the person driving in the back car started the shooting, causing the driver of the red car to fire back. Round after round, gunfire echoed in front of that gas station, sending people inside scrambling for safety. Miraculously, no one was harmed during this exchange, and the authorities were able to quickly identify the people involved. February 2020. This time we're at Sandoval County Detention Center in New Mexico, where things get a little crazy. 9 prisoners decided they weren't going back to their cells when a guard told them to. And that's when all hell breaks loose. The guards backed off, and the administration had to call in a special task force to deal with this. But the prisoners decided they weren't backing down easily. They blockaded the door, poured soapy water on the floor, and threw a microwave and other items on the door. The task force busted out their flashbangs and managed to apprehend all of them in the end. These guys were charged with an unlawful assault on the jail and a conspiracy to commit unlawful assaults on a jail. Just another day in the life of a prison gang. July 8th, 2017. A camera captured a heartbreaking event in southeast Oak Cliff, Dallas. Two masked gunmen attempted to rob a homeowner as they were entering his house. A violent exchange of gunfire would take place, resulting in the tragic death of the homeowner. When the police arrived, they discovered one of the gunmen dead in the driveway, also shot. The other gunman managed to escape the scene, leaving his partner behind. However, he was later apprehended and convicted of not one, but 2 counts of murder. August 17th, 2016. Two armed robbers storm into a cell phone store in New Jersey, demanding cash and phones. Little did they know the manager had a trick up his sleeve that would turn the tables on him. The manager plays it cool, telling them to take whatever they wanted. While they were distracted, he slyly opens a back door leading to another office and warned everyone inside to make a run for it. He then bolts the back exit gate and did the same to the front of the store. The footage shows the robbers' faces drop as the metal gates came crashing down, trapping them inside. They frantically try to break through the glass, yelling for help. A crowd had gathered outside watching in amusement as they struggled to escape. Eventually, they managed to find a toolbox, unbolt the bars on the back window, and make a run for it, leaving behind a chaotic scene and a bag filled with bullets and needles. June 3rd, 2019. CCTV in a jewelry store in Green Lanes, North London, caught a man walking in and pretending to have a ring he wanted. The camera shows him quickly moving around and putting on a black glove before jumping over the counter to attack a lone female employee. The footage shows her attempting to run away, but the attacker grabs her, puts her in a headlock, and drags her to the floor. Then 2 other men would enter the shop and start frantically searching through everything before trying to make a run for it, only to realize they couldn't open the door. Unable to find the switch to unlock the door, they had to resort to kicking it open before fleeing the scene. May 4th, 2022. 4 guys walk into a local smoke shop in Compton, California. They didn't have much time to check out the goods with the guy behind the counter before a bunch of bullets started flying from all directions. The clerk, who also happened to be a security guard, narrowly avoided getting shot in the head by ducking just in time. Luckily, he was wearing bulletproof, which probably saved his life. He did end up getting hit in the neck and face, but he kept his cool and managed to scare off the robbers with one final shot. After being treated at a nearby hospital, the smoke shop clerk was released. One of the attackers also got injured and went to the hospital, but he didn't make it. The police caught the other robbers and charged them with attempted murder of the clerk and felony murder for their partner's death. February 27th, 2018. Surveillance picks up a deli in Connecticut capturing a crazy shootout that went down inside. The video shows 2 purple glove-wearing men jump out of a car running past the deli, shooting at people with a handgun and AR-15. The customers inside quickly duck down. After the chaos, the 2 jump back into the car and take off. Now, it seems that Mr. AR-15 wasn't the best shot because he shot his partner in the arm. The injured man had dropped his gun and held onto his arm before they made a run for it back to the car. Luckily, authorities were able to figure out who they were and arrest them not long after this incident. May 17th, 2015. Another crazy shootout goes down between rival motorcycle gangs at a Texas restaurant. Surveillance picks up the action, showing the chaos unfold. The footage being used as evidence against the bikers who were arrested revealed members of the Cossacks gang hanging out with bikers from other rival groups at Twin Peaks restaurant in Waco. What started as a fistfight quickly turned into full-blown mayhem, with knives and guns being pulled out. The gangs then took the fight into the parking lot, where they started shooting at each other. In the end, 9 members had lost their lives and 18 people ended up in the hospital with gunshot and stab wounds. Also, fun fact, more than 170 people were arrested in connection to the shootout. October 2013. CCTV captures a disturbing incident where a gang brutally attacks a foreign student in the UK simply because he wasn't a local. Metropolitan Police released detailed footage showing 5 men attacking Francesco Hunye, who had only been in the UK for 3 days. They viciously smashed a bottle into his face and then chased him down to continue their assault, kicking and punching him repeatedly. This man was taken to the hospital and received 23 stitches to his face. After police were able to identify the suspects, they were eventually caught. September 25th, 2023. Surveillance records a horrifying incident in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. A man was viciously attacked and robbed in broad daylight while walking in an alley. Suddenly, 2 men would appear and start beating on him. They continued this assault after he falls to the ground. Once the attack was over, they rob him and flee on foot. Obviously, this shocking and violent event left the victim injured and traumatized. March 5th, 2020, another terrifying gang assault occurred in Brooklyn, New York. This large gang would viciously attack and rob a girl, and the entire incident was recorded on camera. The attackers repeatedly punched and kicked her before stealing her sneakers, phone, and debit card. Afterwards, they fled in opposite directions. Fortunately, the girl only suffered minor injuries, and the police successfully apprehended all 12 men responsible for the brutal attack. March 6th, 2024. CCTV picks up a chilling incident in Bradford, West Yorkshire. The video shows a red van pulling up outside a house. Three men jump out and head down an alleyway. Shortly after, the men were seen forcibly dragging another man into the van as he struggled to break free. The van then sped away from the scene. Now, following this kidnapping, police did manage to apprehend a suspect in connection with this, but there's still no update on whether the victim has been safely returned home. 2016. Police body cam footage shows this intense moment when officers swooped in on a gang that had just acquired a sawed-off shotgun. The gang was caught on CCTV, receiving the dangerous weapon from associates in a BMW in the Castle Vale area of Birmingham. Armed police would quickly arrive on scene, and as shown on the body cam, they apprehended two of the gang members on the ground and caught another attempting to escape over a fence. The sawed-off shotgun, which police believe could have exacerbated the city's already high levels of violence, was discovered hidden behind a wheelie bin nearby. If police hadn't been there at the right time, who knows what would have happened. Following the incident, 3 men were arrested, convicted of multiple offenses, and handed lengthy prison sentences. And on May 13th, 2023, at around 2:45 a.m., police in Columbus, Ohio, respond to a gang fight in the 900 block of North High Street in the Short North. As soon as police arrive, they're met with bullets flying their way. They don't hesitate to fire back. The chaos goes on for 9 minutes, filled with screams, shouts, and officers repeatedly telling suspects to drop their weapons. Videos from the scene captures victims lying on the ground, wounded from the gunfire. Tragically, 10 people were shot that day, and one of them didn't make it. In the end, numerous arrests were made, and a total of 11 firearms were seized from the area.